Yes, sir. I can see you well and hear you well as well. Good
Very
afternoon, sir.
nice. What's your name?
Sir, my name is Harsh Parashar.
Mr. Harsh, you are speaking from where?
So presently I am at Bangalore.
Ahmedabad. So
So
you,
Bangalore.
Bangalore? Oh,
Yes, sir.
I see. So have you joined the IRS customs or not?
Yes, sir. We joined on 19th December, and it is roughly 1.5 months into the training.
So you are under training now?
Yes, sir.
We are in Bangalore.
Sir, the NASIN main campus is at Faridabad, but we have been sent for customs module to NASIN Bangalore.
Okay, okay. Tell me, why have you not opted for the IPS?
Sir, I fall 1 centimeter short of the height requirements. My height
Okay,
is 164 centimeter.
okay. And your interview is on 10th March now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So we'll start. Please tell us about yourself.
Sir, my name is Harsh Parashar. I am from the small town of Katihar, Bihar, and my father is a professor of Hindi literature, and my mother is a caring homemaker. I did my schooling from my hometown, and thereafter I did a major in electronics and communication engineering from IIT Kharagpur. I worked for 4 years as a data scientist at different consulting firms, and I got selected in Indian Revenue Services, Customs and Indirect Taxes.
Very nice. So, but you're given Haryana as your address now.
Yes, sir. That was my address where I was staying before, because I had taken an UL. So that was the address where I was staying.
Not any longer there.
No, sir. We have shifted camps to Faridabad.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you are from Bihar basically.
Yes.
Tell me the GDP of Bihar, if you can tell me.
Uh, Sir, I know GDP per capita is $1,400, and the 13 crore people are in Bihar. So I'll have to do some maths.
Achha, tell me about the some demography of Katihar. Can you tell me that?
Yes, sir. Sir, the total population of Katihar is 30 lakh, and the the major culture in Katihar is that of Bengal because it is very close to Bengal-Bihar border. The main language that is spoken is Surjapuri, and the male to female ratio is 927, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, now sociology is your subject.
Yes, sir.
What are the main social conditions in India today?
Uh, Sir, social conditions would refer to a very large number of situations and phenomena that exist all across the country. I think the major social structure, part of the social structure is the caste system. Another aspect of the social situation is the differences in language, and we have around 1632 dialects with 121 major languages with their own scripts. Thirdly, there are divisions across religion as well, and this tends to be very disuniform across states and union territories. There are differences also in terms of the socio-economic position, which is called class.
So
Uh,
have the social conditions changed since independence? If so, in which fields?
sir,
Social
of course,
issues,
there
yeah.
are
Yeah.
yes, sir. Of course, there are a number of changes that have happened over the course of past 75 years. Some of the differences that in sociological terms that we have been studying is the rise of caste and class nexus. So earlier, before the introduction of capitalistic uh, economy in India, the major social structure, the basis of social structure was caste. But over time, what was the upper strata of the caste became upper class, and the lower strata is mostly identified with lower class as well. Whereas there is major muddling in the middle of the hierarchy. This is for caste and class. In terms of social structure for religion, there are also differences because of the partition. A
But tell
large
me, has the caste system weakened?
Sir, it's a very tricky question, and the opinions are divided completely.
I am
Uh,
asking your opinion.
Sir, I believe that caste system has not weakened, but rather it has changed forms. In many ways, in the prejudices which we used to earlier define in terms of caste are now defined in terms of uh, a large number of different terms. We call them ethnicity. Sometimes we even call it class. These distinctions were even majorly heightened during COVID. The social distancing in terms was actually a
Okay,
type of
so
social
what else
distancing.
has changed socially? Okay, one is this. What else has changed socially?
Sir, I think for women there is a major increase in the social esteem that they used to enjoy, and this has come in India through two major waves of feminist revolutions that have happened. First in 1970s, and the other one that happened after that started majorly after Nirbhaya Kaand. A third change in social structure that I see is that the distinctions between North India and South India, or East India and West India, they are no longer that prominent because the inter-regional migrations are very large.
Okay. Now tell me that British Empire was there for a long time. What is the legacy of the British Empire? What is it they left behind for us?
Sir, in terms of social structure only or in
No,
the larger
generally,
context?
generally.
Sir, I think the biggest impact that we see is in the organized civil services. In fact, this is one of the major reasons why Indian bureaucracy is criticized. Second thing, and I think this is a major positive thing, is that we have now, the focus has shifted towards modernization and industrialization. Introduction of railways and post and other means of communication has broken that barrier of small village republics. Economically, we have also shifted, despite being still predominantly we are agricultural country in terms of total number of people employed, but we are now a service sector economy. And part of this can be attributed to the rise of service sector, new middle class in the British era.
My last question is, how many biodiversity hotspots are there in India?
Sir, if I recall correctly, there are three regions of biodiversity hotspot. One is the Himalayan belt, second is the Western Ghats, and third is Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which come in the larger portion along with Indonesia.
Thank you. My colleagues will talk to you now.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Harsh, how much time have you spent in Nasan, Faridabad?
Sir, at Nasin Faridabad, we spent roughly 2 weeks undergoing the orientation module. And here at Nasin Bangalore, we have spent close to 40 days with the customs module.
Okay, and how long is your training?
Sir, the total duration is 16 months, apart from the 3 months that we spend as in foundation course at Labasna.
Okay, okay. Now tell me the difference between CBN and NCB. First, expand these two terms.
Yes, sir. Sir, CBN is Central Board of Narcotics.
Central
and
Board?
NCB is,
Central Board?
so it might be Bureau.
Yes, Central Bureau.
I also get to take
Yeah,
it.
okay. Tell me.
CBN is Central Bureau of Narcotics that comes under the divisional control of Ministry of Finance. The other one, NCB, it is Narcotics Control Bureau, and that comes under the operational control of Ministry of Home Affairs.
Both are anti-narcotics agencies. So, what is the difference?
Yes, sir. And this was there was a lot of debate around this as well. The one major difference between NCB and CBN is CBN is also responsible for the licit production of opioids that happen in India. There are two main fields, one in Ghazipur and another in Neemach in Madhya Pradesh.
These are the processing factories.
Yes, sir.
You are talking about the licit opium fields.
Yes.
These are not opium fields.
Yes,
These
sir.
are
The
processing
opium
plants.
Yes, sir.
Where
Thank
is
you, sir.
licit opium grown?
Sir, I was under the impression that opium is mainly grown around these areas, but I'll have to check on this. Check on this.
Okay. Now, are you aware of the main trafficking routes, drug trafficking routes to India? Where do the drugs land in India, come to India?
Yes, sir. Sir, India is actually sandwiched between two major drug producing regions. One is the Golden Crescent, that is in on the west side of India, western frontier. Here, the main trafficking route comes via Punjab. On the eastern side, we have another major major drug producing area, the Golden Triangle. And here, the drug trafficking mainly happens through the free movement regime that is present there in the northeastern states.
Which states? Which states?
Yeah, which states?
Sir, I cannot recall exactly which ones are the most prominent ones, but they are not equally distributed. That much I know.
And which are the countries that constitute the Golden Triangle?
Sir, one is Laos. I'll have to recall the other names. Sir.
Does drug trafficking also take place via the sea routes from Bangladesh?
Sir, we have not majorly covered Bangladesh. For sea routes, we are mainly concerned with the gold trafficking and arms trafficking, but I'll have to find out if there is it is also a major route for opium.
Mr. Harsh, how do you risk profile containers? Since more than 90% of the trade is through containers, what is the system in the DRI or the Ministry of Revenue for risk profiling containers?
Yes, sir. So this is very true. We have a risk management system or RMS in place, which uses a number of parameters to flag off whether we need to check a container or not. The other 90% is mainly for facilitation. Now, for the enforcement of this 10%, some of the parameters we use are which country it is coming from. For example, most of the if a container is coming from China, it is more likely to be checked. Second is the individual the importer who's going to import it, and we detect this through something called an IEC code, importer exporter code. A third is the total weight of the goods declared. For example, if it is say gold, then we would expect that since gold is a very dense material, the weight of container will be high. And if there is a mismatch,
I get it. I think you are aware of the risk management system. Yeah. Now, tell me, you were hall captain of a data analytical team.
Yes, sir.
When was that?
Sir, it was both in my third year as well as fourth year.
So what is the government of India doing for data protection?
Sir, we had formed a BN Sri Krishna panel, which gave out its reports, and we introduced a PDP bill, Personal Data Protection Bill. However, now the idea is to introduce a more comprehensive legislation regarding the same.
What is this legislation? What is this legislation called?
Sir, it is not out yet in the public domain, I think.
No, it is in the public domain. There are two bills that the government of India has initiated to replace the older ones. You're not aware of that?
No, sir. I'll have to find out. Thank you for informing me.
Okay. Now, your father is an assistant professor.
Yes, sir.
Where?
So the college name is DS College. It is in Katihar only.
Okay. And what does he teach?
Sir, he's a professor of Hindi literature.
Okay. Now, please tell me very quickly how you would improve the quality of higher education.
Sir, most important for higher education is the quality of teachers. One problem that I see is ad hoc teachers appointment. I will try to scrape that because I think the longer term interest of teachers will also be in the positive interest of the students who are in place.
What else?
Second will be upgradation of libraries. My father's college has a very poor library, whereas
What else?
I am.
What else?
Third will be in the colleges where there is mostly arts and humanities. There is very less employer interaction. So I would try to organize Rozgar Melas or skill Melas. Fourth will be in many colleges the national apprentice program that is not implemented properly. They're not even aware of this. So this is something I would like to build into that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Mr. Harsh,
Yes, sir.
I see from your DAF that you have been a student of Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me the meaning of the shlok. Shaile shaile na manikyam moktikam na gaje gaje sadhavana sarvatra chandanam na vane vane. Very well known shlok.
Yes, sir. I have heard this shlok and it's quite a famous shlok. Sir, if you, I think the broader perspective
Okay, 1 minute. Line by line.
Yes,
Shaile shaile na manikyam.
Shail is pahad. So in every mountain you do not find money or diamonds.
Moktikam na gaje gaje.
Sir, gaje is elephant. So in a herd of elephants you do not find the moktikam. I think would be a silent
Mukta
kind of.
is a mukta. हर हाथी पे मुक्ता नहीं होती.
Okay, sir.
साधवना सर्वत्र.
You do not find good people everywhere.
चंदनम न वने वने.
And there are not sandalwood trees in every forest.
Good. So you do follow Sanskrit even now. Now, Bihar, your home state, borders Nepal. What are the main problems in our relationship with Nepal?
Sir, I think between India and Nepal relation, there is always the presence of a third factor, which in our case is China. What happens is, because Nepal is a small state and it lies as a buffer between both the countries, the relationship, how close the Nepal and China relations are, Nepal and India relations are sometimes opposite of that. The main chunks of, I would say, contention between the two countries is one, the map controversy that recently happened.
Over what? The controversy?
Map controversy. The controversy over...
Which area?
Sir, in Uttarakhand, I think Kala Pani.
You think, or it is Kala Pani? All right.
Sir,
okay, it is Kala Pani. And what else? What are the other problems? 1, 2, 3, just bullet points.
Second would be water distribution of Kosi.
Okay, that's 2. Then?
Third will be the 2015 Madheshi blockade that happened and the negative connotations of that. Third will be the friendship road that is being built between China and Nepal.
Who is the Prime Minister of Nepal?
Sir, presently it is Mr. Prachand.
What is the actual name of Mr. Prachanda?
I try to remember his name, but I always keep confusing. Kamal Dahal.
Pushpa
Prachand.
Kamal Dahal. That is the name. And who was the Prime Minister before him?
Sir, Mr. Sher Bahadur Deoba.
Correct. Now, did you watch the Republic Day parade on TV?
Sir, unfortunately, I did not get a
But
time
you will
because
know who was our chief guest?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Honorable President of Egypt, Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
Okay. Now, Egypt normalized relations with Israel. It was the first country. What is the name of that peace treaty?
Sir, I do not know that name.
It was the Camp David Accord. Now, more and more Arab countries have normalized relations with Israel. Why? Why?
Sir, I think so. Between Israel and the Arab countries, the main bone of contention was the annexation of Israel of Palestine. But over the time, the Arabian powers are trying to diversify their relations, and partly under the pressure of United States of America, which shares a very close set of ties with Israel, the Arab countries have tried to improve their relations through, for example, Camp David or Abraham Accords.
Abraham Accords. Which countries, which Arab countries signed the Abraham Accords?
Sir, one was UAE, which was mostly in news. The other
You
one
mentioned the Abraham Accords, so I'm asking you to brief me. Which was the other Arab country?
Sir, I think it was Jordan, but I'm not sure.
Well, Jordan normalized in 1994. And when were the Abraham Accords signed?
Sir, only recently, 2020, I guess.
2020?
It could be a year here or there.
No, it is 2020. And Jordan was 94, so Jordan didn't sign it. Which was the other Arab country? Come on, you're a foreign service aspirant. It was Bahrain. Why? Why did UAE and Bahrain sign? According to you, what were the regional compulsions?
Sir, one part is that the West Asia is very volatile, and there are two major centers of power, and I think UAE and Bahrain, both of them would want to move out of the triumvirate sort of position where Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, these are the three contenders for power there. So I think they are trying to create a better balance of power under the influence.
Now, India has close relations with many neighbors, and there are some regional organizations where India is a member. One of them is BIMSTEC.
Yes, sir.
In your view, what is the importance of BIMSTEC?
So I think the most important role of BIMSTEC is to be an alternative of SAARC, which has mostly been dysfunctional.
Okay. And what is the full form of BIMSTEC? You don't know.
Sir, I know. I was just trying to be sure that I know.
Okay.
It is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation.
Correct. But you took a long time to answer. And
Yes,
how many countries are members of BIMSTEC? Who is the current president of BIMSTEC?
Sir, I do not know.
You don't know. Okay, let's move to another organization which is called the G4. What's the G4?
So G4 is a group of countries which are trying to bring reforms in UNSC.
Okay.
That includes India.
And which are the other three?
So one is Germany, second is Japan, third is Brazil, and fourth is India.
All right. You said bring about reforms in the UNSC. What is the problem there? Why are the reforms not taking place?
So the UNSC was created in a time where, and at that time...
No, I'm asking what are the problems now? Why are the reforms being obstructed?
So there is vested interest from... So there are multiple reasons. The first of them is that there are vested interest by the P5. They would not want to give up the veto power or share with other people.
That is the reason. That is the only reason, the main stumbling block. Now, the UNSC is an organ of the UN. How many principal organs are there in all?
Sir, if I can add something too. In UNSC reform, another source of problem is that there is not the proposed reforms are not even consistent between two groups. Like one is G4, they are being opposed by Coffee Club, so that is also a problem. Now, in terms of the number of permanent, the principal organs of UN, they are 6.
Okay, you know, Harsh, even if all the other countries which are not P5 members were to agree on, okay, there will be these 3 candidates for permanent memberships, do you think that the P5 will allow even these 3? Do you think the P5 will allow any other country to become a permanent member?
It's a very pertinent
No,
question.
they will not allow. Simple as that. So even the fact that there is no consensus in the African group and the developing countries, and there's the G4 and the Coffee Club, only makes it easier for the permanent members, because they say, look, there's no agreement upon it. But they will never allow. Which are the principal organs of the UN?
So first is United Nations General Assembly. Second is United Nations Security Council. Third is ECOSOC, or Economic and Social Council. Fourth is Trusteeship Council. Fifth is International Court of Justice. And sir, I cannot recall the sixth one.
The sixth is where one day hopefully you will work, the Secretariat.
The Secretariat.
Okay, my last question. You are living in Bangalore right now.
Yes, sir.
Bangalore hosted a G20 working group from 5th to 7th. What was the subject of that? Very important subject. You don't know. Okay, and there is another working group meeting which is currently going on, which started yesterday and will continue till tomorrow. It ends tomorrow. What is that on? Another very important subject.
Sir, I had actually looked at the G20 calendar. I do not recall the dates, but there is one DEWG, which is DU group is working group on digital education or digital inclusion.
No, but that's not the one being held in Bangalore. There are 2. One finished 5th to 7th and the other one 9 to 11. You don't know which ones.
No, sir. Unfortunately.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harsh. Our discussion with you is over.